All right.
Okay, so do we have any revisions to the agenda?
I will be saying something in item 7 when we get there, any other business when we get there. Okay, but I have no other revisions.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Um, we don't have anybody new here, so we don't need to check in. Approval of the minutes of January 25th.
I got one request for a change which I made, and you all got the R1 version early this morning. I don't know, 2 o'clock or something this morning. I sent it out. So if there are no objections to that, usually we take them as approved.
Any objections?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so now I am going to be here later if you want to have the treasurer's report later, but I can do it very quickly now. We received last year $225 in restricted donations to disarm. 110 from Cheryl, 65 from Carol. I'm not sure.
Carol Goburn from
Uh-huh.
Fresno.
So she gave 100 and yeah, 65 once and then 50 once. So she gave twice. And we spent $1,009.89. And we had 25, 15, 67 carryover less, and the difference between what we got was and what we spent was minus 284.89. And so our balance now at the beginning of the year is $2,230.78. And the reason that it's higher than what I quoted earlier is that I didn't know about the restricted donations. So
2,200 and
$30.78.
48 cents. Okay. Well, that's excellent. As I say, we have 5 people going to the NPT. 3 of them live in New York City, so I'm not expecting they would need any help. But maybe Eileen might put in for some travel help, right, Eileen?
No, I'll be fine this time.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, things come up, and that's one way we can use this money is to help.
ANADC Days is happening in May, and if anybody wants to go there,
I'm signed up for that.
and if you need any help with paying to sign up, if anyone needs any, we can possibly take it from here.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What does it cost to sign up for the ANA?
If you do it soon, it's $225, unless you are a youngster or a person of some
Only in spirit.
ethnicity
Only
other
in
than what we
spirit.
are.
Thank you.
Youngster, probably over 20 years old.
Yeah.
But that gets
Yeah.
you some food and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But you got to get your own places to
Lodging.
stay. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. ANA. I'm thinking MPT. No. I'm off. I wasn't planning on doing ANA. Sorry.
Okay.
Are you going, Ellen?
Yeah, I do plan to go. Yeah. And it's happening right at the time. It ends the same day as the 45th anniversary of the vigil in front of the White House, which lasted until last September.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that we will have some kind of an event there in Lafayette Park on the
Do you have a place to
June
stay
3rd.
there? Good luck.
Pardon?
Do you have a place to stay there?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
The Lafayette Park may be
Yeah, I
like,
don't think
we're
I'll be,
going.
I don't think I'm gonna stay there. I won't get much sleep there for one thing, yeah. So,
We're
no, I have friends who have offered for me to stay, so,
Excellent. Mhm.
yeah.
I'll
You'd
talk.
think after 25 years of living there that maybe I might have one or two friends, so.
But even if you can't come to Washington, D.C., our spring meeting is in the week that we're there. And that's always really informative because the
Right,
people who are from the different nuclear weapons production sites and the people affected by uranium mining and the milling and the radioactive waste will be there, and they talk about it, what's going on, and they'll get us all up to date on this. So it is really an interesting 2-day meeting, Thursday and Friday of that week of the 31st of May.
it's a good
And
time to recruit.
June 1st.
It's a good time to recruit young people to WILPF too, because
That's true.
the people are very good about
And
bringing in.
am I true? Am I correct that some of it is streamed or via Zoom?
Well, if I'm there, I'm going to be filming everything that's allowed, and I will then be uploading it. I don't think it's live streamed, but we can try. Yeah, we can try. If I'm there, I can do it.
You can do that? Mhm.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Good.
We've spent 5 minutes on this.
Right.
Thank you. Okay. All right. We should move on. We may have a place later on where we can talk about it if we want to. So the next is hot topics. Total of 15 minutes. The first is the Gaza-Israel situation. Does anybody have anything that you want to update us on that?
I picked out, I read quite a lot about this every day. And so President Netanyahu issued this 55-page document 2 days ago. They have, the October the 7th attack by Hamas on those kibbutzes along the fence there is seen as an intelligence and a military failure on Israel's part. And they've had several investigations already, and he's issued this 55-page document essentially saying it's everybody else's fault. No, it's not his fault, which is causing some rumpus in Israel and in other places. So I'm sure if you looked at your favorite media, you would see some information about that.
I don't understand. Please, can you synopsis it? Why
I
would
did
that
not.
be a failure when hardly anybody is near the border?
Well, there was. I mean, the fact of the matter was, 1,000 people
Oh,
killed
it
or
was
taken
way back in
hostage.
history.
I'm talking about the October the 7th, 20.
I'm sorry, you did say that. I've been down in bed for 2 days, mostly in bed, I should say. Sorry.
You sound like you still have a cold. I
Yeah.
see Gloria's hand up.
Gloria?
Yes, I have my hand up, but I don't have that much to report, but I have been back channeling with Odile, and she has a longer text that she wants boiled down. I thought she might be here tonight, and I was going to help her boil it down to 700 words, but we haven't done it yet. That's all. About Gaza that she's writing.
Right, 700 being the word limit for e-news,
Right.
which I sometimes go over, and I've got to be better about that.
Well, I understand it's a hazard. So, but I
Yeah,
hope
well,
to hear from her soon. And it's sometimes it lags when she says she's sending me things, but I know she's busy.
right, okay. Anyway, I heard just earlier today, there was a talk by a group here called Palestinian Voices, and they had a plastic surgeon on from Palestine, a British Palestinian plastic surgeon, who apparently in the first 45 days after October the 7th was in Gaza doing plastic surgery on victims of the bombings and what have you. And he, talked a lot about how the health system there has, been mostly destroyed, and which, of course, bombing hospitals and what have you is contrary to the rules of war. And somebody, Margaret, can you turn off your sound so we don't hear the radio you have in the back? Anyway, so it was, he talked, I'll just say briefly, so the health authorities and Hamas have been keeping track of how many people have been killed in Gaza, okay? 71,000 is the number. And he said how some media keeps questioning that number. And he really castigated the major media and journalists who come to meetings and say, well, prove that to us, And he says those are actually, that number is the number of bodies that have been retrieved from bombed out buildings who had ID on them, so they knew who they were, okay? But of course, the number of killed is a lot higher than that. And he prefers to add those people who have died because they didn't get their diabetes medicine. They didn't get anything to help with their cancer. The kids that have died from malnutrition. So in fact, that 71,000 dead people is actually a lot bigger than that. So anyway, it was, he is a knowledgeable person about.
I had my hand raised.
Yes.
This is a more general comment. This is one of the areas that Jane Addams and the women at The Hague went over a lot. And it is that these figures, you know this, Cheryl, one side never believes the other side's figures. Even if they say, here are all the list of the names, they'll say, well, you could have made up those names. So this is a very, sticky area when we get into counts. I mean, they're still arguing about how many people were killed in Sarajevo. Get the Serbs to believe the Croatians and the Bosnians figures. So, what you're saying, it sounds like maybe it's unique to Gaza, but it's, what is the term? Endemic to all conflicts. Yeah. So, I just thought I'd bring that in, that this isn't so unique to this conflict.
All right. Thank you.
So shall we move on to the Ukraine-Russia war now?
Yes.
I think we've been on this for 5 minutes.
Right. So again, I'm reading what my newspapers tell me, but Zelensky's saying that he's getting information from our administration. Oh, we're going to have to finish this war by June. I don't know why they chose June. And he said that he's been invited to the US and some Russians sometime this coming week, probably to go to Mar-a-Lago in Miami. So, I mean, that's good news. Trying to get the two sides to talk to each other is what we in WILPF have been saying forever. Okay, but of course, Russia is still bombarding especially their energy generation infrastructure. So the people are without electricity, without heat. You can read people saying, it's 2 degrees centigrade in my house. It's not a comfortable thing. So, so again, you just got to keep track and hope that they can come to some conclusion. Now, Alan has been saying he's going to be writing some proposal about having a plebiscite, but he's not here, and I haven't seen him send anything out, so we don't know if he's going to or not. Is your hand still up, Gloria?
Yes. Hold on. I guess I do have myself unmuted. I have something I'm trying to paste into the chat about Marco Rubio. And I do talk to Republicans. I know that's unusual, but I do. And what I'm hearing from the Republican people that may have more of a beat on this is that Marco Rubio has some new initiatives. Of the Republicans, he is one of the more informed and educated on international affairs, whether we agree with what his positions are. So I just looked and I Googled something, and it's telling a bit about the resource issues, because a lot of this dying only has to do with the Donbass and who gets to have control of the mines and the various lithium and very rare minerals there. So I'll try to cut it down. It isn't accepting my posts because they're too long, but I'll cut them in bits and then it'll go into chat. And that's all I have to say.
Mhm. I know we call lithium rare earths. That was an old term invented 100 years ago. That they're actually not that rare. They're just difficult to extract from where you can find them.
Thank you for that correction. I'll be more correct when I say, okay, here we go.
All right. So, okay, I see Ellen Mass has now joined us. Okay, can we go on to number C then?
Yes, other wars and attacks by the USA on other countries. And you mentioned diplomat Witkoff must be exhausted. Now he is talking to Iran regarding their nuclear facility.
Right. So he's one of the two people who've been going back and forth between Ukraine-Russia talks and Gaza, the Board of Peace talks. And now he's also added trying to talk to Iran. I mean, that's good. Iran and somebody from the US are talking because, as you know, all warships from the US have been situated near the borders of Iran. And it sounds like the president would like to bomb them again. So anyway, so we've got to it's one of the things, I mean, a lot of the things we can do, as you will see later in the agenda, are, corresponding with your congressional representative. So Iran and not bombing Iran would be one of the things you would talk to your representative about. And then Venezuela, they are, President Maduro, he comes up for trial, I know, some time from now. And the country seems to be trying to just get on with things, right? But these are all putting the rest of the world on edge. What's the president? Who's he going to find on the globe next and say, "Oh, what's that country? Maybe I should take over that country." I mean, it just he seems to do such things by, he's sitting in his studio and it comes to him that he should do something about something. Gloria.
Yeah, so this Marco Rubio thing is important, and I think maybe we should think about writing to him because he is very much educated on this critical minerals, critical resources, whatever we want to call them. And I think what WILF can do is to show that we know about that, give a couple sentences that we're aware of that. I'm very curious as to which graft and pork is going to be taken in as the right mining company to do all this once they get some of the fighting stopped. But we need to tell Marco Rubio that we care about the people in Ukraine. We know some of them. I know a lot of Ukrainians, in fact, because growing up in Chicago, there were a lot of Ukrainians there. So that's important. Just tell them that we care about the people, not just America's interest in extracting things from places. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, if you'd like to draft such a letter, some of us would help you with it.
Okay, sure. I can start a draft going and talk to my Republican informants and see what they have to say about Rubio's specialty. Some of them know him, his area very closely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He doesn't look like a very happy man.
No, I don't think so.
You're looking at photos of him, Ellen?
I have noticed it, and he's standing in the background and he never looks very happy about what's being said.
Was he is he there at the Olympics? We all heard that Vice President Vance was booed
Really?
during the opening ceremony.
Well,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And there are demonstrations going on in Milan against various things, including ICE. Because they had to send, the story is they had to send some of our security forces because the vice president was there. The Italians are taking umbrage at that. Anyway, Ellen Mass, I see your hand up. But you have to unmute.
I'm glad you spoke before me about what's happening in the rest of the world, because I don't think we're very informed, especially on what you just said. Thank goodness you are. But in France, Germany, and now you're telling us about what's gone on recently in Italy. What I think that we're not informed about is like you just mentioned, Gloria was talking about Rubio and it's his stance on Venezuela. Well, a lot of what is happening, from my knowledge, from the subtitles of the Spanish programs, is that the money for the oil, he really, really is interested in the getting with that. We desperately need the oil. We need that heavy crude for the Texas oil fields. There's no question about it. And he's got a big, big, big account in Qatar. Is it UAE or Qatar? And that's where apparently the money is being held. But then there's a big dispute about that, whether he's giving the money back to Venezuela in the latest. There are quite a few programs that analyze this stuff in depth. They get the details we don't get in Western media. And Northwestern media, not South media. But I just think it's worth to pay attention, because there's hope. If it's just the resources that he's looking for, countries will sell it to him at good prices. Or they'll, find a way to keep him at bay with those. That's what Putin was trying to do. That's what they're working on, these things that.
This is time.
Okay, we're just shocked about. So that's what I'm saying. When I tell people to do the subtitles, I think Peggy's finally got the subtitles. I think Gloria reads them. But yes, let's pay more attention to all that. So we're talking more knowledgeably, because I swear other countries are much more informed than we are. They're progressives and intellectuals, and we can do it now. These subtitles are good, so that's what I think is going on.
Eileen?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. Everything I've learned, and I just double check now, the minerals that Ukraine holds, or used to hold, I should say, are under Russian control. They're mostly in the Donbass area. It seems like Russia's got the upper hand on minerals.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking. Yeah, that's
Well, I'm referring
debatable.
to GLOW right now, please.
Yeah.
And I would like to know if there's any kind of discussion that Ukraine will have some of that, so they aren't left destitute of these important, lithium, graphite, and others. I think it's important that they have
Right.
some.
I think we need to be even more nuanced, Eileen, in
Yeah.
that we need to know who's running Ukraine and whose companies they favor. It isn't the people who are going to get it. Even the Ukrainian oligarchs are still oligarchs, and they're dealing with little nice customers like ArcelorMittal. That's Lakshmi Mittal, the global steel oligarch, and he's from India. And I mean, people are coming in from all countries. So it's overly simple to think if Zelensky gets hold of the minerals, it will be generously doled out to the benefit of the people. No, there's one group of oligarchs up against another, and it's just good to have a
8
list
minutes.
of them. We need to have a list. Okay, that's all I mean. List them.
Cheryl?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, just to say
Don't undermine me. Okay.
briefly. So last meeting, I believe it was Ellen Mass and Alan talked about cargo ships being pulled over by other people, other countries. So I have found it. I Googled it, and indeed, there are these ships that are trying to pretend not to be carrying oil. So it's people trying to avoid the sanctions against Russia selling its oil. And so indeed, if you Google it, you'll find six examples that have happened in January of these enormous ships that were pulled over, so to speak, in the English Channel and over near Germany. and so they are being held by countries like the US because they are trying to evade the sanctions on Russia. So just to say, I did find that out. We were not sure what was happening. So
9 minutes.
okay, I'm done.
Okay. Current campaigns continue to press for disarmament. 5 WILPF US members have been added to the WILPF delegation attending the NPT review conference in April to 27th of April to the 22nd of May.
Yes, it's a 4-week conference, and so Eileen and I are intending to be there the first week, or Eileen will be there a few days of that week, and then the other 3 women are all residents of New York City or close to New York City. They're in our branch there, newish New York branch. They've all said that they are willing to be a part of the delegation, and I hope that means they will be able to go those 3 weeks where the conference continues, where I can't afford to be there a month. And so I have been writing to them, and some of them know already quite a lot about nuclear disarmament and proliferation. Some are not so informed. Anyway, we will be educating ourselves towards, what we might say when we get there. So that's continuing. So I'm very glad that we have people who do live there and can represent us later.
Can you tell us who they are?
Yes. So Julie Leake is one. She is actually a member at large on our board. There's a woman called Sally. I don't have her name. Sally, she's a New York Metro branch member. And then a woman called Helen Young, who is actually a film producer, and 10 years ago produced a film that was shown at the NPT about disarmament. And so she knows reaching critical will. And so she does actually already know quite a lot about proliferation and non-proliferation. And she's not coming to make a film, to my knowledge, but so she's going to be part of the delegation. And then what we're waiting to hear is who else is on the delegation, because I'm hoping that people will be coming from Europe and what have you. But it's all a question of money for them and visas. Okay, getting into the US is harder, and so people are talking about, well, why don't we have these meetings in Vienna? Vienna and Geneva are the other large UN buildings and headquarters. So, but unfortunately, the major one is here in New York City. Okay, so Eileen and I've identified a cheap hotel over in Queens that I'm about to book a room there for us, very close to lots of metro stations. So, okay. Then the next thing was, all right. So,
could I just ask something, Cheryl?
yes.
What was that session? Which one are you going to? The UN session?
It's called the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference. And Reaching Critical Will has quite a lot about it. In fact, Reaching Critical Will is in charge of all of civil society who want to go. And there are already 32 side events that other civil societies have arranged and put it as a schedule. And so one of the things we try to do is attend some of those side events to learn what they're saying. People from affected countries, people from the Marshall Islands, a lot of Japanese are going to be there, especially the ones associated with Hibakusha. So it's always a very busy time when you're there.
Is this TPNW?
No,
No.
it's not TPNW.
No.
That is later in the year. This is
NPT.
NPT.
Yeah. Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which was,
First came up in 1968.
yeah, and was
It's in
signed.
force.
Yeah, it
But
went
we're
in force
trying
in
to get that
1970.
start over with that because it's good. The time is out. We
No,
don't
that's
have
the
to-
New START treaty. That's a different treaty that I'm
Oh,
about
that's
to
the
talk to. I'm talking
okay.
about that right now. Okay. So there's a coalition, a loose coalition of many organizations who've been working against nuclear weapons for a long time. So we call ourselves the reverse the arms race. And people within that generated a letter that on the 2nd of April was sent to all members of Congress. This was before it failed and died on the 5th of February. So it was the last ditch effort to try to get them to pressure Trump to take the offer by Putin to let the numbers, the actual heart of that treaty, the New START treaty, is US and Russia are only allowed to deploy so many nuclear weapons. It's 1,550, okay? And Putin said, well, let's just allow that limit to continue. And Trump did not and did not and did not and still didn't reply to that offer. Okay, so another part of that last ditch effort. So there's a link there in the agenda to that particular letter. When I read it very carefully a few days earlier, I thought there's a sentence here that's got a double negative, and it's very difficult when you've got double negatives in sentences. And I think the conclusion is not what they want to say. So I wrote to Daryl Kimball, who's the executive director of the Arms Control Association, who I know because I had him come speak at an American Physical Society meeting 5 years ago. So I spent time with him, took him out to lunch, etc., etc. So, and I said, this sentence really is difficult. And he agreed. He got it changed at the last minute. So now it makes better sense. So, and he, he did look at my email and he did respond to it. You have to understand that WILPF does have a reputation out there, and people, when somebody from WILPF's, emails them, they pay attention. Okay, so there was this thing called an action hour. I know some of you actually attended it on the 3rd. It's one of those things where you get a bunch of people who all call their congressional rep at the same time, different reps, but you all have a script. And we had a script to say, we really shouldn't let this New START treaty get away from us, and please, do something about it, pressure the White House. And so I was on there, and I thanked the people and you all got this invitation to do that through the Disarm discussion list. So that was a good, but unfortunately it's still expired. Okay. And if you read the e-news, which I had written back in January, because there's always this big gap between when we have to submit and when they're actually published. Anyway, it tells you about what we've got to do now. And this is all, connected with the fact that Trump has said, oh, I'm going to make a $1.5 trillion budget request for the military. Okay. So the process is the president of the time puts together a budget, and then he sent it off to Congress in February. It's coming, but he's already said on one of his famous truth, whatever posts, I'm gonna ask for 1.5 trillion. It's close to a trillion. That's a year. Anyway, so that's and stopping that from happening is one of the things we have to do about the end of New START. And then we've got to pressure. It's been, and again, because I went to 4 different webinars, which I'm going to tell you about later, the idea is we negotiate new treaties. And that seems to be, again, something that is bubbling along, that maybe somebody will be trying to negotiate new treaties. They take a long time. It's a years-long process. And question is, should they just us and China, and us and Russia, or us, China, and Russia? and England and France. So these are all decisions that somebody's got to be making, but we should be talking about it and saying, yes, we need more treaties. Eileen, your hand's been up a while.
Only to add to what you offered, Ira Helfand did a great job. They actually gave him a few more minutes than usual on the Democracy Now! Show. And he spoke about the doomsday clock. He spoke about New Start. And there was much concern. I hope, well, we don't know. That's all I can say.
Right.
As Ellen has put in the chat, we still have to ask for disarmament. We have to press for it. Thank you.
Right. And just
I
to
just
say,
I just put the link in the chat for
right, for his,
Dr. Helfand. It's very
right,
he was wonderful.
right.
He did one of his, every now and then he does a superlative. Usually they're excellent, but this was one of his superlative presentations.
So, and somebody at ICANN and another, this Reverse the Arms Race Coalition, somebody counted hundreds of references in major media around the doomsday clock and the end of New Start. So it really did get a lot of
Got out.
play.
Yes.
Yes. So so that's good. Ellen Mass?
After you sent me your article to write a statement, because I'd said last meeting that we should really have a statement coming out of WILPF. You're emphasizing the importance of how people recognize our organization. So the statement, but when I sent you a draft and I said, maybe you should just go ahead and do it based on your letter, or maybe mine would be redundant because there were so many things to correct and look up that I wasn't up to it. But then Gloria was supposed to do it, or I thought Gloria was going to do it. I know she mentioned it. Gloria, you can pop up here. But so I think we still need a statement.
A new one.
Us.
Now it's died. Now it's died. Then we get a new statement.
Yeah,
with
a new statement.
what to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the middle of this and I was writing. So tell me, Ellen, which statement are we talking about here?
The New Start statement that comes from Cheryl's letter to E! News. Remember,
Okay.
it was a long
Among
letter.
all the other statements I'm looking at, everybody's asking me to
It's
help
all right,
them.
Gloria. I will work on such a thing. Okay.
Okay.
Because I created a letter to my own congressional rep. I went to his local office in Los Altos and handed it to Nicholas, who knows me because I turn up at his office every so often. So
12 minutes.
So then, anyway, that's so yes, this is one of the actions that we hope you'll be able to do.
And
And
I did send you that correction that, in fact, 90% of the people surveyed did not want the New Start to stop.
oh yeah,
I think that should be in there, and I sent you that news item.
Yes, the government poll, gov.gov poll.
Oh, so
is called, for 1,000 people they asked about the New Start, and very impressive numbers of people who say we don't want nuclear weapons, we should be disarming, and we should have treaties. So yes, this was all in the letter that went to all the members of Congress. So okay.
So shall we move on?
Yes, move on to your Norton's bill.
Okay, I would like to say that I think that President Trump is a bully. This is the way he handles things, is he threatens and he scares everybody, and then he comes and makes a deal. And that's how he makes deals. He's a mafioso. And so I wouldn't be as alarmed. I'm not as alarmed about him as I used to be, because I've come to recognize how he's behaving. And he is saying that he wants to have a new treaty, and that and it makes sense because he wants his name on everything, and he doesn't want to have a treaty that was made by somebody else. He wants it to be a Trump treaty.
Yeah.
So he can get the Nobel Peace
Nobel
Prize.
Prize.
Yeah. So, let's encourage him, not and send messages to the White House saying we think this is a wonderful idea, and if you can get China and Russia to do it together, that would be fabulous. We would really appreciate that, you know?
Mhm.
Okay, as far as Norton's bill is concerned, it won't be Norton's bill anymore. She's retiring and she needs to retire. She's 88 years old and people are saying that she's losing her ability to remember things. Um, so I'm wondering, we've got, I think it's 14, is it 14 co-sponsors right now?
Yep.
And Jim McGovern is the most steadfast.
Yes, I would vote for him 3 times over.
Yeah, I wish he would run for president.
Who?
But
Who?
Jim McGovern,
Oh,
Representative Jim McGovern, he's a wonderful man, and you're really lucky to have him there in Massachusetts. And I'm just hoping that maybe we've got a number of Massachusetts people. I'm hoping that you will go in and try to get him to agree to introduce Norton's bill. You know,
Next session.
the essence of it, you know, that we earmark the money saved from getting rid of nuclear weapons to address climate change, warheads to windmills, the Warheads to Windmills campaign. And that's coming out of Massachusetts as well. So anything that anybody can do to encourage that with Jim McGovern, I'd be really grateful for. Does anybody else have anything to say about this?
yeah, I couldn't get
Ellen
my hand
has,
up.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Eileen?
I didn't have my hand up either, Peggy, so you have your hand up before my hand. You go ahead.
Well, I just, I've forgotten what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more about Ellen Thomas, who is better connected in some ways with MAPPA. MAPPA has enough people out in Northampton, along with the Warheads to Windmills. We do have Pat, but she has her own organization. Heck, I'll just take a ride out there and get a hotel or see if one of my cousins would pick me up. I haven't imposed on them ever. But I'm willing to go back out there and see if I can resurrect some relationships. This is important.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I really would like to just get more younger people. If everyone on this meeting could just invite one younger, and I'm talking under 60 at this point, one younger person to join WILF this month. It's Valentine. It's actually a special rah-rah trying to bring
A
in
campaign.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah, bring in one younger person. And with this stuff going on, I think you're more likely to get some attention and some care.
Okay, so you're offering to try to get yourself over to Northampton, another part of Massachusetts, and is that where McGovern's constituency is?
It's very near. I think he does cover Northampton or half of it.
Mhm. And that's where Tim and Wallace is also living there.
Exactly. Vicky and yes, yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, so yes, this would be good. MAPPA, believe it or not, has more paid up members than we do. Okay,
Oh, I know
just
that.
in
Yeah.
the state of Massachusetts.
And they're part of the nationwide organization, just like we are.
And
Of
they,
Peace Action.
yeah, they're very tied up with
Peace
McGovern.
Action.
You don't have to worry about that. And they're very strongly anti-nuclear. We don't have to worry about new places.
I did remember what it was I wanted to suggest.
Good.
In terms, Ellen, you mentioned, Ellen Thomas, you mentioned putting the emphasis on windmills, warheads to windmills. I think that MAPPA had a really good shift in terms of talking about from warfare to health care. and they picked up a whole lot of support from the medical and nursing communities when they did that. And I think now there's a lot of emphasis on shifting from a military economy to a caring economy. And I think emphasizing that would be good. That's all I had to say.
That
Well,
was
you know.
last year. That was last year, and later in the agenda, I will talk about what they talked about this year.
And we could have more than one slogan with respect to this idea, because it says take the money from nuclear weapons and use it for human needs such as healthcare and housing and education and environmental
Yeah.
restoration and carbon-free, nuclear-free energy. So
Right.
Well, I
it
love that
spells it out.
song. I use that song all the time.
Which one?
Which, move the money, and then he runs through what the list that you just said: healthcare and housing and move.
I don't think I've heard this song.
I don't
Oh,
know.
every time I usually it's my signature under when I sign things. It says
There's a
I,
link,
I
link
link
to
it
it,
in
right?
there. Yeah.
Oh,
There's a link to some YouTube, so you look at a thing from
cool.
Peggy, and
All
you'll see.
right.
You know what else is really exciting? This is just a plug. It's probably around halftime for the big game right now. And Bad Bunny has been pushing relationships and caring big time. That's why he's a favorite for all ages. He's the Puerto Rican entertainer, singer, creator, writer. And he's a good businessman too, and mainly Spanish. He's learning English as he goes, but his message is for caring. I mean, when he goes and get a Grammy Award for a Spanish-speaking singing album, he's special.
We're at 8 minutes.
His acceptance, he actually said, "Down with ice."
Yeah.
He got it. A big applause. I have to shut up.
Yeah, no, that's and we were told that Trump was not coming to the Super Bowl, for which we were grateful. And then there was a rumor that he was, but I don't think he has.
He
He
doesn't
hasn't
like
come.
being booed.
Yes, he wouldn't get a very. And they do have two free speech sections. Okay, they're a few blocks away from the Super Bowl stadium, and it's car parks. But the local police and what have you set up a couple of corners where people with, who want to say something, it's called the free speech area. It was from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. today, and I didn't have time to do. So I'm hoping many of those organizations that are here in the peninsula will be
5
out.
minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Just before
All
we get
right.
off the Super Bowl, the beginning song was wonderful. So when you get a chance, be sure to hear her. Thank you.
Okay.
Her who? Her.
I'm sorry, I don't have her name, and we need to go on. But I just
Yeah.
Is
do
that
So
the national
can we
anthem?
move on to reports on actions within our various coalitions?
Yeah. Right. Me again. So just let me get my notes from over here.
So Cheryl will report on the people over the Pentagon planning meeting.
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, President sends his requested budget to the Congress, and then they mull over it, and that whole process is called the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. So people over the Pentagon for some years now always try to get reductions in that budget, okay? And we've been a member of that coalition, people over the Pentagon, for several years. I go to their planning meetings, I listen to what they're saying, and then I pass it on to you what the message should be. So the idea is you get amendments in this Authorization Act, and Barbara Lee, bless her heart, always had this amendment to just take $100 billion off the top, and but but it's the Speaker of the House who decides which amendments get to be discussed. Okay, and so because we have a Republican Speaker of the House at the moment, you can bet that he won't allow these amendments that deal with cutting the military budget probably to even be discussed. So again, this
A lot of them never make it out of committee.
make out of committee. There's the Armed Services Committee, House and Senate deal with some of this. Anyway, so again, quite a few media stories have been, talking about this enormous budget. And Bill Hartung for the Quincy Institute writes very well about this, and he's popped up in several webinars. So I'm, getting information, and when we have something where we're going to ask you to do something, I'll let you know. Bernie Sanders has a bill, and apparently there's one thing to harp on that will attract Republican interest, Republican congressional members, is the Pentagon has failed to pass an audit for many years, okay? And there's a lot of waste. So emphasizing the waste in this, in the military spending will appeal more to fiscal conservatives who worry about things like that. So
Is there anybody who has kept up with what the waste is and
I believe
publicize that?
I believe somebody has, yes. I don't have
If
it.
anybody has the link to that, it'd be good to have that.
Yes. In fact, somebody had calculated that if this $1.5 trillion appropriations is then authorized, it will increase our taxes by $1,400 per person, or and I really what you have to say is, of your taxes that you pay, $1,400 more of it will go to defense. Anyway, so that's the people over the Pentagon, which has a very large group of organizations like us go to those meetings, and then we go out to our groups, and quite a lot of them are faith groups. A lot of people, from the Catholic faith, and bishops here and bishops there. So that's and it's always this time of the year. Okay, you don't hear about it except this period when the budget is coming from the thing. So that was one thing I wanted to say. And the next is, okay, World Beyond War is another organization that we collaborate with, and we have committed. Linda actually wrote, and our executive director said, yes, we'll endorse this. This thing called Global Days of Action to Close Bases. All right. You've heard on this meetings, 800 bases, or more than 800 bases that the US military has in the US and all around the world. Okay. And that's how they plan attacks on other people in those bases. So World Beyond War does this every year, and it's 21st to the 23rd. And let me now bring up, because I saved it here so I could talk about it. Here we go. Let me see. What are they asking us to do? I can't find it. So there are military bases all over the US. So there is, if you go to that, the resource page, the page I put in the agenda there, you'll find the closest to you military base. So I discovered that there's one across the bay on a place called Concord. It would take me an hour and a half to drive there in the middle of the day. And it is actually a naval base. And from that base is where they send out armaments and supplies to all our bases. Okay. and to our allies. Okay, so it's probably one of the bases where armaments that are going to Israel to help bomb the Gazans goes through that base. So trying to identify a base near you that is a military base, and then you've got to join with your local sister organizations or your own branch. You can then try to have a demonstration at their gate, for example. And the 23rd is a Monday. Okay, so if you want to get their attention of the workers, you have to be there in a morning time. So Peggy, yes?
Well, I thought that we were asked to report on things that were happening locally at this point. Is that right?
If you know that somebody else is already doing something, so here
Well,
is
I was going to report about Atlanta.
yes, good. So if you know somebody, something going on in your area, but I'm just trying to tell everybody that really, because we're endorsing this, our members should try to do something. And it could be, you go to a weapons manufacturer near you, you write to your congressperson. So they have this list. If you go down, please, Ellen, and well, you can find nearby events, but there's in their resource page, which you'd have to go back up, they give you a whole bunch of ideas about what you should be doing. Anyway, yes, Peggy, what's happening around you?
Well, I was going to report on WILPF's relationship to other organizations that are beginning to prepare. We have deportation centers in Georgia, and they're about to build a new one, which is very close. There is one already in Atlanta, which I haven't seen much publicity about, but there are the young people, there are a number of young people groups that are organizing, and I think I'm not attending because I'm not able to do that, but there are two people from WILPF who are showing up and going to meet with going to the groups that are being convened by young people. So I'm concerned about that, and I'm hopeful because it is Atlanta, and Atlanta has a great deal of pride. Oh, the King Center had something just a few days ago of standing up to ICE. Oh, and the main thing I was going to say is that John Ossoff, who is our young senator, as Gaza was developing, I was part of a group that tried to put a lot of pressure on him in terms of Jewish Voice for Peace, because he is Jewish, and we had really hoped that we could get him to take maybe actually to play a historic role as a young Jewish senator to stand up to. We weren't successful, but he is running for re-election. He is on the the intelligence subcommittee. And he made a real strong statement just a few days ago at a rally organized by people here in Atlanta against ICE and against deportation and the treatment of people who are subjected to deportation. That's a big step for him. And so on the one hand, we have young people organizing. I'm not doing so much of it. I'm mainly just a cheerleader. But we are bombarding him. And my Facebook picture is me in his office with a ceasefire now sign standing by his staff. So I think things are looking up, but I want that known, and remember his name, John Ossoff. The term is good trouble. That's the term that John Lewis, who was the civil rights congressman, used. And Atlanta, good trouble, John Ossoff, and
if you're like me, you get more than one email from him every single day. So watch for ones that relate to what Peggy's talking about, but then we need to respond to them about what Peggy's talking about
Thanks, Joan,
from other
because
parts of the country. So
yes,
Time,
and
take
with
that
11
to other
minutes.
senators. He can take it to other senators.
yes, thank you. I've gotten so that I respond to solicitations with a message and say,
Yeah, good
and
idea.
I think that they, I don't know how much they read, but it does go to info@John Ossoff. It doesn't just go to no reply.
Is it OSSOFF?
OSSOFF.
Thank you. All right.
And our other senator is also verbally, reputationally committed. He is the minister, the reverend from Ebenezer Baptist Church, which was King's Church. He should definitely be doing more too, but he's not up for re-election. John is, and John has a reputation to establish.
12 minutes.
Thank you.
Pam, it look like Pam might be working towards saying something about this? No? Oh, you're
You're
muted.
muted,
No,
Pam.
never mind. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, keep an eye out because this happens, of course, these dates are before the next e-news. So I'm going to have to be sending things by email to ask members, not just Disarm members, but all WILF members to try to do something. Okay. All right.
Question about it, Cheryl. The tremendous base that's being built right on the border is now getting, it has a lot of attention. This is the base on the border of Mexico. And Nogales is a key center of where a lot of the military and other military things happen from. So
13 minutes.
Gloria's place. And I just learned that the mayor of Tucson it was the only US person, was part of a huge coalition in Latin America that are getting together. It's what Peggy sent out, the declaration, some Santa Clara Declaration, Santa something. And that had the mayor of Tucson as part of it, which is you never see that. Arizona's main trade comes from Mexico. It doesn't come from the United States.
14 minutes.
So in Arizona are like integrated, and we don't even know that. I mean, I'm sure most Arizonans don't know anyway. I thought maybe there's a way to bring that to Gloria's attention, and if Cheryl needs more of that information, can come.
Okay,
to
thank
her.
you. There is a map. There is a map in that resource, in the website, all the military bases by state. So that's why I was able to find under California, we have, I don't know, 50 bases. I was, looked through and I found this one an hour and a half from me, naval base where they distribute arms and goodness knows what all over the world.
That's the World Beyond War link that's in I put
Yeah.
that in the chat as well.
This goes beyond the organizational campaign, which is excellent. Peggy's gives a larger picture in terms of how Latin America is dealing with this military threat for our continent. This has to do with the North American continent, and it has to do with South America and Caribbean, which is his new playground. So getting together, and they brought in the mayor of Tucson. So maybe there's a connection, and only a group like WILF could we go beyond World Beyond.
Right, but they actually, most of the bases they have are targeted are outside the US.
Yeah.
So in this 3 days, they will have people protesting at the Philippine bases and so on and so forth. So we are a small part. We're actually a small part of this.
I see. Okay.
This campaign. It's all over the world.
Okay. So
but because we're in the US, I said find one near you. Okay. I know we're running slow here.
I will put in the chat, I will put,
16 minutes.
recording that, of the, meeting where they described the campaign so that you can
Yes.
understand it better.
Right.
Okay, the next, shall
Also,
we
Peggy,
wait on the webinars, Cheryl? And
Well, just to say that these 4 webinars, you know, one was about Ukraine, and that was, you know, this man is a journalist from Great Britain talking about all the things that are happening, that you've heard about the drones being used. So there are various types of drones, and there are the big ones that drop bombs, and then there are the little ones that do surveillance. So there's areas where the soldiers are, where they don't go cross, you know, 50 yards where they need to go, because there are enemy drones above looking for them, and then they direct the bigger drones to come shoot them. So this is the ongoing war. And he says, you know, what we have to do is, he castigated the Guardian. He says the Guardian used to be against the war in Ukraine, and they've even changed. It's the Guardian newspaper. They've changed their tone. Okay, another one was, it's 80 years since the UN started, and the first resolution they passed in the General Assembly was against nuclear weapons and for disarmament, and that nobody else, the US has this awful technology, they've used it twice, now the rest of the world should avoid it. And they set up commissions about that. And so the lady Nakamitsu, who is the chief person on disarmament, she talked a lot about
18 minutes.
yeah, what we should be worried about. And she called upon what she called the middle countries. So you've got the 9 nuclear owning countries, and then you've got places like Austria and Ireland and
Cheryl,
Australia.
excuse
Yeah.
me, but are there links to being able to watch these?
Some of them I've already sent, some of them I
Yeah.
haven't. Some of them I
Okay,
haven't.
so if you could maybe just
Yeah.
list what they are and what their links are and send us
Yes.
an email with that, then we
Yeah.
can move on.
Yeah, I know I've done that.
Because there's
So-
too
Yeah.
much to explain. 4
Right,
different
but the
things.
people, I do ahead of them. I send you all the links and ask you to
So, yeah.
attend,
So we
and
don't
some
need
of
to
you
do it.
And
do.
if there's a recording, it's great.
Yeah,
It would be
So-
great to have the
so
link.
that's
And
where
we
I
should
get-
all do that. We should share the links to recordings with each
right.
other.
So if
that we-
anybody else, you know, has got ones that are coming up, the mapper, you know, has them every so often. And they've all got access to excellent speakers. You learn a lot. Eileen.
Eileen.
Yeah, just a quickie. I mentioned Bad Bunny. He's from Puerto Rico, and he loves his country big time. The subject will be about probably this halftime in entertainment. Mentioned that Puerto Rico has several, I think there are 5 U.S. bases in
Mhm.
it. It's still very much controlled and not allowed to become a state, and it's a shame. So it just slipped that in there with conversation. Shame we have military bases in a place that has been supporting the U.S. for so many years and yet has been abused
20 minutes.
and just remember this, the last storm we did not offer help. In fact, I think Trump scorned even the idea. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Okay. Looking at the agenda, it looks like Nancy and Odile are not here to talk about Earth democracy or Middle East. Does anybody else have anything you want to say about the other committees, any of the other committees or working groups?
Earth Democracy, I could add Pat Elder sent me and Nancy and others who donate to him and are in in the committee or on the committee about Oahu. The medical center is huge. It's actually a veterans hospital and a VA. And oh my gosh, the amount of PFAS being spread is just
Horrific.
incredibly, and it's being ignored.
You need to get on his email list to get these regular
Yes, you
explanations.
do, and it's well worth it. Although sometimes I wish he didn't send so many. But he's been around. I mean, he's been to Japan. He keeps track of Hawaii. He has good connections.
Mhm.
And he knows what he's talking about. He does his homework. I haven't found him to make an error.
Yeah.
He
Right.
tells you when I don't know. He'll say that, I don't know.
Mhm.
I just basically he says the testing that needs to be done is being ignored in Hawaii.
Right. So just to say, last time Nancy said there was going to be a webinar on the 17th of February about the fossil fuel treaty, and she would send us info, and I haven't seen that yet. Anybody else seen anything about a 17th of February
No,
Earth
I have
democracy?
not. No.
All right. Maybe I'll nudge her.
So let's tell the AI to put that on the list that Nancy Price promised to send us the information about the webinar on the 17th. Okay.
And-
Ellen
and Carol
Mouse,
will
you have
nudge
your
her.
hand up.
Just, I can say it now or I can wait because I missed out. I was going to ask to make sure that the information that I shared about our border country is well taken. And I know we're talking Puerto Rico. We can certainly talk about Mexico and the Santa Clara Declaration that Peggy sent out for us to endorse, and that we don't neglect that we look at it because it is global basis. It's not the little part that we're supposed to endorse in the United States, but we're discussing the global issue from World Beyond War. So let's keep that in mind as something to expand to.
Did she send it to the disarm discussion list?
Yeah, I think so.
I
Didn't
sent
you?
it once.
Yeah.
Can
The
you
other
put-
thing I wanted to talk about was the ICE invasion of the Ecuadorian consulate, and Cheryl added extraordinary amount of depth to what I had known.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I don't know what
Not what I'm talking about.
where we are on that,
where we
or
are
what we
is
should do.
I'm going to send that letter you've written to the disarm discussion list. I'm going to ask people if they agree that you then send it to the State Department. Okay.
Okay.
But we're going to do that after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You
One
got
thing
me
I
mixed up.
learned that I haven't told you yet, Cheryl, is that Trump has been moving around and has now, when I was looking for whom to send the letter to, the Office of
Foreign mission.
Foreign Missions is now under one of Trump's henchmen. Changed since I first thought of sending it. And so
Okay.
so that fear that that the ICE guy saying he had to enter the Ecuadorian consulate was just a beta test to push the violation of the Vienna treaty even further.
Mhm.
And I think, Cheryl, I think you should tell about what happened before. Do we
Okay,
not
I
have
think-
time?
I think we don't have time.
Okay.
I am completely lost when it comes to keeping track of time. I don't even know where we are on the agenda now.
We are number 8, working with other issue committees.
And which one? We just did something, the one where Nancy's not here to report.
Yes, yes.
Have we done the Middle East piece and
No,
justice?
they're not here, and we talked about Gaza earlier, and then people started worrying about things we'd forgotten.
Throwing in a whole lot of other stuff. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And then we also have talked about A&A. Is there anything else we want to add to what we spoke about?
Yeah,
Pam,
we
do
talked
you have
about that
anything to add?
beginning of the meeting.
I think Pam might have gone to sleep here.
So are we or are we not on
You're
radio
on mute,
waste?
Pam.
I know, I'm trying to get off. It's
We're on
harder.
5-9, Judith, 5-9.
Well, I don't have too much to say. It's just there's so much. We have a bananas discussion group, like our WILPF Disarm discussion group, and we've been talking about Trump is just pushing ahead with nuclear reactors. It's really pretty scary, all the stuff he's doing. You know, we talked about how he's changed all the rules for public engagement, and he's changing the rules for how much radiation we're going to be able to absorb in our bodies, which is ridiculous because there is no baseline that's safe at all. And so they're going to say, oh, as best as practically possible. Well, what does that mean? You know, that it's just meaningless. All these words that they use, and we want new life for retired nuclear plants and major strides in securing our nuclear fuel supply chain. You know, that included his giving away the 20 tons of plutonium to the corporations for their advanced nuclear reactors. And they think they're going to have one of these nuclear reactors ready in July of this year. And there is no way, there is not one in the whole world, really. Well, maybe there was one, but I mean, there's one in the whole world. It's not going to happen. But they're going to put all this money in, right, Cheryl?
Yeah, and it's not hooked up to the electricity generating grid. So yes, again, this is all very unfortunate about the changes of radiation standards and things. So,
and we're really worried here in Wisconsin. There's a consortium of people around the Great Lakes of, you know, how they're reopening these reactors that have embrittled reactors in them. And so they're trying to do one here in Wisconsin at Point Beach, and then another one at Palisades across in Lake Michigan. And they just got caught having inferior workmanship on the Palisades committee. Because they thought they could get away with it. They thought that nobody would check on them. So now they have to go back and redo all this work. And it's pretty scary because they're just pushing and pushing. And, you know, as far as these AI centers and the crazy amounts of energy they're going to use. And it's not really very good outlook for that. And then, of course, that's all part of the nuclear fuel chain. And I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop.
So that's some months away. It's the end of May in DC.
This DC days, yeah. And
Oh,
I would
DC days.
I would
Ellen's
like
going.
I would like to mention also, we were talking about getting young people to join WILPF. Well, one thing that A&AD does that's really good is to make it possible for students to come and be part of the DC days, actively part of the DC days, and they can get scholarships.
Yeah, the scholarships are $500. I don't know if we can swing that, but can we swing part of it?
Yeah, if they can get a scholarship, for example, for the tuition, and then maybe we could help out with the place to stay. Maybe if there are a group of them, then we could maybe get a Airbnb or something. That
Yeah, that's
so
hard.
if
That's
anybody
pretty
has
hard.
any ideas on that, then think about it. Yeah.
We stayed at the Buddhist house when we went to the 75th NATO event.
4 minutes.
That was free, and I have the contact there.
That would be great. Can you send it to us? Because we've been using the Quaker. They
Yeah.
have a nice house, but I didn't know there was a Buddhist house too. That
Oh,
would be
yeah.
wonderful. Thank you.
Good.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
and if we get some young people to go to that, maybe they would be interested then in becoming actively involved in WILPF too. So.
Yeah. Well, there is that
Okay.
campaign. There is the campaign that you've heard from Shelby about trying to. No, February is our try to recruit new members month.
Okay.
Please, everybody look at what you're getting from Shelby Young and ideas for recruiting new members.
Well, it is International Women's Day coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a way to hook into women who are out there for Women's Day.
Yeah,
5
so,
months.
right. The
So
Women's March
the-
is going to have a big deal on Women's Day. It's a Sunday.
The next one is 11, and that is advocate for the end to the war in Ukraine. Is there anything we need to add to that?
Well, no, I think we talked about it quite a lot
The
earlier.
new start will do that.
Yeah, and then under the committee support project reports, I've already given you the treasurer's report, updating our Disarm webpage.
Yeah, so we're supposed to work on that, Ellen and Ellen Thomas, and again, if when you're looking at the general website, we're just part of the website, and you come across a link that doesn't work, then you take a note of where you thought you were going and send it to Ellen Schwartz, who is in charge of the committee for keeping track of the website. So we, some of our resources are a bit old and so on and so forth. So we said we'd update it a bit. So here Ellen is showing us on the screen what our website looks like. And we have our mission and things. And then she puts this.
Can I say something? Because you're putting on right now the statement on moving towards daytime. I sent another photo because it has one like it looks like the bottom left photo. And I sent some that would really give more of an indication of what the statement was about. And I sent it to you, Cheryl. Maybe you didn't get it. But
I did. I thought you were asking us to put it on the statement and resolutions page, and I didn't think it was appropriate.
well, we
Okay.
can find another one, but the one that we have on the statement and resolutions page looks like that. The little animated thing. So I'm
yes,
looking for
yes.
a picture. We need a photo of something that would indicate detente. And so I sent something of everything from Kissinger. They're all sitting around a table with
Yeah, that was-
Obama.
Where are you
Yeah.
talking
that
about? Is this the
good.
e-news? Is this the
No,
e-news?
she sent it to me considering something that showed detente, but this was all Americans, all the US people in the White House when Obama was
Oh, okay.
president.
So we need something to show both sides. Okay.
You needed an international looking thing. And believe me, I spent hours to find that one that you see there, a cartoon.
I made it.
Okay.
You also have to find things that you can use because
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Without free.
was the
Yeah.
Wiki Commons. Yes. Okay, I'll find another one.
All right. So now I understand the one you're talking about, Ellen. Thank you. So, all right. So, there's a lot of things going on. So the modifying our own web page is kind of low priority for me. But if somebody else wants to dig around there and say, oh, well, this is a bit out of date, and then let me and Ellen Thomas know,
Yeah.
that would be helpful, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend several hours doing the e-news article every month, and that's about, that's
May I also say, if you have something that you want me to know about, in addition to sending me an email, if you would either call or text me at my cell phone, I will put my cell phone number in the chat right now. I'd appreciate it. A text is fine. I do find my texts. And if it's urgent, if you need something done today, then you need to call me. Because I get so much email, sometimes I don't even look at it for a day or two because I just can't deal with it anymore, So,
I always phone Ellen when I've sent her something.
so I'll put that in the chat right now.
Right.
Yes.
We don't need to send you what we sent you before, but we need to alert you, right?
Yes, you need to phone her.
Yeah,
leave a
so
message.
yeah, send me a text and say, look in the email. I just sent you something, that's fine.
Right.
Or
And the
tell her the
time.
date and time you sent it,
Yeah,
Exactly.
or the subject line. The subject
yeah.
line,
The subject line is good because sometimes,
best.
Then you can search for it.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Okay, fine. So anyway, so then where are we? So we now leap over to next meeting. Yes, everybody agrees? The 22nd of February. And see, it's the last, we are the second and the last Sunday of each month.
Oh, the
Shortish.
22nd would not be the last.
Yeah, well, it is the last.
22nd?
Yeah, yeah. Don't tell me I made a mistake. Let me
There
see.
needs to be.
No, you're correct.
No, it's the last. It's the last.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, it's because it's February. I'm sorry.
Only 28 days. You're right.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I have this little Smithsonian year at a glance, and it's really helpful to find out things quickly, both sides. Anyway, that's because I give money to the Smithsonian museums, amongst many other museums. All right, so now we're down to 7, and I warned you all I had something to say in this. This is WILF things that are not on the agenda. Okay, so hopefully you all noticed, although maybe you didn't, there's something called quick actions, part of the e-news, and there was a article there warning us that on the 18th of February, which is coming up, the bylaws committee, which I'm on, is going to have, we're taking over the Jane Addams branch 1 hour slot, which is 5 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, the 18th of February. We're going to be talking about the code of conduct of WILF. Okay, WILF International has a code of conduct, quite lengthy, and we are trying to understand how we should apply it to WILF US meetings and behavior. All right. So we're going to be, you're going to get an e-alert about this, inviting you to register and come to this meeting. And there will be
What is the day again?
18th of February,
Uh-huh.
Wednesday. Okay.
Ashland's Day for Catholics or whatever.
And so I'm actually trying to talk to the International Secretariat, because when you go to an international WILF meeting, they always start with some slides they show, which remind you the way you're supposed to behave during meetings. And so I wrote, and I thought, well, it'll be nice to get copies of those that I can show as an example, because I'm going to be talking a little bit during this 1 hour on the 18th of February. And I wrote to
What time?
5 p.m. Pacific time. And you will get an e-alert about this, so don't depend on just hearing me now, okay?
8 p.m. 8 p.m. Okay.
So I wrote to 3 different emails at the International Secretariat. 2 people who I've seen on meetings speak to these slides on behavior at meetings, and the membership at wilf.org. 2 of them, one of them is refusing to go anywhere, and one of them says she's already been laid off. So I'm afraid that those 2 ladies have already been laid off, which brings us just to remind you that WILF International is suffering from a great loss of funding, and dealing with it. They're dealing with it by laying people off. So I have not yet received an answer, although I sent it 3 or 4 days ago. That's the weekend now. Asked them if they wouldn't mind sending me copies of those slides. And there is actually a piece, there is a group of people called the Peace Community, which International WILF has running when they have a congress. Those are people who are rather like our vibes watcher. They try to keep everybody on an even keel. So I'm just going to look up now.
I would
Where-
check with Linda Lowe. I've mentioned this thing about conduct with her a few times. I think she might be keeping track of that aspect on an international level.
Right, so here is, I'm going to put in the chat now, the actual update that you all got in the February e-news. It's a bit deep into that e-news, but there, you go there and you will see Regina Sneed talks about the international peace group. Peace in this case is peace within WILF, within meetings.
Right.
And then there's an email from Dee Murphy. Dee Murphy is on this disarm committee, the bylaws committee. So Dee, Darian's on the bylaws committee. Diane was on the bylaws committee, but she stepped away because running for the Green Party in her congressional district. So anyway, we're going to have this meeting and then we're going to ask for your input, because the one thing that this is their WILF International Code Conduct is 7-8 pages long. They have this section, breach the code. What are you going to do if somebody keeps breaching the code? And unfortunately, they mentioned something and I can't find it. So it's called the Feminist Integrity Framework. And it incorporates complaint and conflict resolution policies and procedures. And I've been digging around in the My WILF and the WILF website, and I haven't found it, which is why I wrote to the WILF membership, and I'm waiting to hear from them. We want you to come to that meeting, so your opinion on what should we do about breaching the code, and then if we see that a new bylaw is needed to deal with this, then the bylaws committee will propose this new bylaw, and you will see it on the ballot in November. Okay, so just heads up. Hopefully some of you will be able to come to that meeting because we want everybody else's input. Yes, en masse.
Can we propose somebody? Can we propose somebody for the committee?
For the bylaws committee, we are looking for new people. Yes, we would have write to me with the name of somebody, a WILF member, obviously. We meet once a month. Usually the meetings go about 2 hours because we're all a bit verbose. And we are the generation of those bylaw reforms and bylaw revisions that you see on the ballot that you get in November when you're asked to vote for new people, and there's always these bylaw amendments. Okay, so we are the people who work on that, and we decided in this case the code of conduct topic that we would ask some opinions of any of WILF members. Yes, Gloria, I see your hand up.
Yes, I was wondering, if there are any subtopics already decided what they will be looking at, or is it a general?
Give me an example. I'm not sure what I understand on
Well, I don't know, like the proper roles of the chairs of committees and things like that.
7 minutes.
Okay. Well, come to that meeting. Come to that meeting and bring it up.
Okay.
Because we're trying to be very open to new ideas, and they have this, how to apply it. The values of, so there are 9 values that WILF holds, and then the issue is how do you apply those values into the behavior of people in WILF, not just in meetings, but in how in general we all behave to each other. Okay.
And can you send that list of values to us within the next day?
You will, when you get the e-alert, you will get a link to where you will find this document on the WILF website, the WILF International website. And there you will find all these values, okay? And then I will, when it comes out, I will actually copy it into just for disarm, because I really do want some disarm people to be present at this discussion. So, yeah. Thank you. All right. So there in the thing, I've given you the quick updates link. So go to that when we've finished. Save the chat now, because I do believe we're at the end, unless somebody else has any other business.
I have some other business. We did record Tosi Adegbija, and I can't find it at the moment, but he gave a very good talk last Saturday on rethinking machine learning, and he objects to the term AI because it's really advanced machine learning and pattern matching. But he feels that it can be done, and he gave slides and everything on a different basis and with lesser, not using the LLM, the large language model, but much smaller databases when you don't need to know 40 languages when you're looking up something about a British poet or something. So it's a very interesting talk, and it would involve much less use of energy and resources. So I just couldn't find the link. So could I send it to you and it could be added in after you get it?
All right, so this was
To our hard science fiction group.
Oh,
Zoom
your science
last
fiction.
Saturday. We had
Okay.
an engineering professor, a distinguished professor from the University of Arizona, Tosi Adegbija.
Okay, so you have a recording that
Yes,
okay. So send it
meet
both to
monthly.
Ellen and me.
Okay, yeah, we meet monthly, and this is just one of our regular monthly speakers.
Did you not send it to Disarm Discussion?
I sent that it was coming up, but I hadn't uploaded the video.
Okay, well then
It was just
when
so
you
people
know,
could attend live.
yeah, when you know that the recording is available, then it's a good time.
I do the recordings, so I know when they're available.
Okay.
I upload them to my own channel there. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So that's all right. So we'll listen to that. Yes, artificial intelligence is a misnomer. They've not really reached an intelligent aspect yet.
Right. Well, he goes into great detail about the LLM, the large language model, and these sub databases that would be very suitable and maybe a 10th or a 25th the energy cost. And the man is a distinguished professor, and that's his area of research. We have a lot of people that have positions on AI, but this is someone who actually is building AI and really involved with it, trying to reform it.
All right. I see Ellen Mouse's hand.
The most advanced grouping that we have now in Latin America came out of this Santa Clara thing that the mayor of Tucson is part of it now. It goes beyond CELAC, which is the Central America Caribbean regional grouping. But, this is where the next wars are coming to. And so I think it would be good to endorse it. I don't know exactly how to. And it sounds like most of you did not get Peggy's declaration. So I don't know how to do it, but I think it's very important that we don't wait till the end of February to do it.
I'll send it again to the discussion group.
With a clear subject line, please, everybody. When you do put it so we know.
And can you do what I just requested, Peggy? Can you ask people to endorse it so we can write? I'm happy to do that, or you can do it. Write kind of a note if
I'm not prepared to ask people to endorse it until they've read it.
No, of course not. So could we do that if we get it? How do we relate to it?
Right. Is there an option when you're asked to endorse something and the other organization gives you a Google form to fill out? Is there a form to fill out?
No, I don't think so.
No, but there was a long list of endorsers, and I was happy to see that Code Pink and Bill de Blasio both endorsed. Bill de Blasio spoke.
And there must be some method to do that, right?
Probably. Yeah, so send it out and we'll look into it more.
And it's called the Santa Clara or Santa Clara?
It sent us something. I'm not 100%.
What is it, Peggy?
I think it was Carlos, but I'll check again. It's
Thank
called
you,
the
Peggy.
Americas,
Now,
Santa Clark Carlos. And it was
I can't remember anything else you all, but I'll send it. I'll send what I've got. Actually, I've seen some more things since I sent the first one. So I'll send
Thank
I'll
you,
send
Peggy.
enough for you all to all see it. And
Right.
it's very interesting.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
what
do
is
think
happening
that
now.
I think that WILF could play a valuable role in relation to it.
Good, thank you. Gloria, you should look into your mayor joining this group, and when
Oh,
she's in.
Rahina Romero, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Has
yes.
she already joined it or no?
Yeah, she was there and she spoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she's good.
Okay.
Good.
I think we're at the end.
I think we are.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you think of it, send a little note to Diane and tell her how much you appreciate her.
I did that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that in my little response about our the other conversation.
Where was Diane? I came in a little late.
She has resigned.
From being a
Just
co-chair.
temporarily, she said.
yeah, and you mentioned that she's running for
running for
office.
Congress. She's running for Congress.
As a
Oh, good for her.
She also has
Green
resigned
Party.
as the secretary. She's no
All
longer. the
right.
Well, that was always a temporary thing.
Right, right.
It's always, she just filled in till a new person could be elected, and that's now Ellen Schwartz, who's now our secretary. And
Ah.
Jan Corderman is our treasurer. And there's a whole bunch of empty seats on the board. So if anybody wants to approach the board presidents and say, I'm willing to fill in one of those seats, I'm sure they'd be happy to hear from you.
I have a question. Did anybody attend the Founding Mothers Conference this past weekend? Has Diane decided to leave FF as well? FM, I mean, Founding Mothers.
I don't know. I don't know if she did, and I don't know.
We're,
None of
Yeah.
us that went.
she,
I was sick and I was actually taking care
Yeah.
of somebody else. I
Yeah.
was in a
you
midst
you
of
need
funny-
to get in touch with her about that. Yeah.
And the subjects that they said they were going to cover were not particularly related to disarmament.
Yeah, I think we decided not to.
I'm just wondering if
I think
Diane
this
is
is
giving up on us for Founding Mothers.
No, not for Founding Mothers. She's giving up on us because she doesn't have the energy to do what she has to do and here and also running for Congress. So
So she's going to be a candidate if she can get enough signatures from her local constituents to get on the ballot in Virginia, in her area of Virginia. She will be standing as a Green Party
I
candidate.
understand. Yeah.
Okay. She did it once before, and
she's doing it, she says, because she wants to bring up the ideas that need to be talked about.
of the Green Party environmental aspects of things. Yes. Yeah. No, good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good action. And if she's curious, she can always watch our
Recordings.
recordings and she can communicate by email. So
Right. She's still on the listserv.
yeah, I hope she'll be at Alliance for Nuclear Accountability. I suspect she might be.
Because she's a
lives
subway
nearby,
ride
yeah.
into DC.
I might stay with her actually. So,
Ah, yes, she's got a lovely house.
yeah.
And
I've stayed
is the DC membership interested in this?
In what?
We have a DC branch.
The branch, yeah, in DC, Maryland. Yeah, just wondering if they would be interested in this.
In what, dear?
In the ANA
NA.
Oh,
DC
okay.
days.
Yeah,
sorry.
we should
Very good.
we should reach out. I should reach out. Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen will reach out. Good
A
idea.
lot. Okay.